do 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 do. I don't know the rest of the song. Fuck.
I just think of like Gravity Falls.
It's not the same thing as Gravity Falls.
Similar though.
It's very similar to it.
It's like
sorry. Go ahead.
It's like the best show I've seen since then. So
Yeah.
But yeah.
Hey guys, welcome to another Charming Analysis podcast.
Yay!
We're finally recording another episode. So before we get into anything, I just want you to know, since the last episode of this came out, like today, so we're gonna be going into spoiler territory with this episode, and we're gonna be talking about this new show that me and my partner have been watching for a while now. We're going to be talking about the Owl House. I'm so excited to finally do a podcast about this. What about you, honey?
I am greatly excited that we found a show that we can agree on.
Yeah, we found a show we both really like, and it's amazing. Sorry, got to have some water. So basically, I actually found out about this show from Twitter, actually. Like, the Grom episode came out, and I saw the dance scene that Luce and Amity did, and I was just like, honey, we need to watch this.
Yeah.
And that's how we actually found out about the series, from that episode. We didn't see the whole episode, but we saw, the dance scene first, and I was like, I need to see this. So that's kind of how we started with it.
I knew that it was coming out. The first announcement was back in...
Talk louder.
It was... The first announcement was, back several years ago, when they first announced that the show was gonna be, like a comedy horror show, which it technically is. But it's I saw the promo image that they first seen. I was like, out of everything that's animated that's coming out, in terms of TV show, this is the one I'm most interested in. And even then, we did not fully
want to see it at first. Because we didn't know if it was gonna be very similar to Gravity Falls. Because a lot of shows since Gravity Falls have come out have had very, very similar tropes and stuff to the show. A lot has been said. Example, the new DuckTales is a bit similar to Gravity Falls in a couple aspects. At least from stuff I've seen. I have not seen the entire series, so I can't really agree or disagree. But from the episodes I did see, that's kind of what they were going for. At least from what I did see. So yeah, it's one of those things to where I think a lot of people were jumping on the bandwagon of Gravity Falls' success. That
this is made by Dana Terrence, though.
Yeah, but this was different. This is actually made by someone who actually did work on Gravity Falls, Dana Terrence. She worked on Gravity Falls. Did she work on it for the whole time, or did she come in? She worked on it the whole time?
Yeah.
So yeah, she basically worked on Gravity Falls, which is what the last podcast we did was about. And that should be up soon. I still have to work on the thumbnails for it. Fun fact, I'm the one that normally makes the thumbnails for the videos. So, yeah, just so if you guys didn't know, I actually make the thumbnails. And we both, talk about it and stuff like that. But we both draw, though. Anyway, so why don't you explain what Owl House is about, honey, so far? Because this is the first season. They do have a second season coming out. We just don't know when. But we did watch the entire first season. Our plan is, for at least this show, we're going to, review it by seasons. Just because there's only one season currently out right now. So, once season 2 comes out, we'll definitely do a review on it. Right, honey?
Yeah.
So, take it away, honey. Why don't you explain what Owl House is about? Give it, a brief synopsis.
It is about Luz the human who stumbles upon a mysterious land called the Boiling Isles, which I guess is in another dimension. And she meets Ida the Owl Lady, who is a rogue witch who wants Luz wants to be a witch, and she wants to take lessons from Ida, and this is pretty much their adventures in the Boiling Isles. Luz being the first human to want to learn how to do magic.
Yep. So that's basically how, like, the brief synopsis of what it is. Basically, it's Luz trying to become a witch, and she's trying to learn from Ida, who's known as the Owl Lady in the show. She's basically a wanted criminal, along with King. This makes me wonder, though. Did they ever explain why King was wanted?
Because he works for her.
That's it? He didn't do anything?
I don't think so.
So, yeah,
in the grand scheme of things, King is not an all-powerful... He doesn't do any magic. He's just there.
He's apparently the Demon King, which I would like to at least know how he got that title and how he at least met Ida. That's the thing I would like to know.
There is concept art of him actually being the Demon King.
So he actually is. He just is just this little tiny guy first.
Mm-hmm. No. He that's his original design. That was supposed to be the joke. He's the Demon King, but he's like a small, ineffectual little creature. But he, in his original concept art, he actually used to be the King of Demons, and now I think they just... I don't know if he actually is, but I think now it's more played up as a joke more than anything.
Okay. This makes me wonder what he is, though.
I don't think he has a true form. I think that is his actual form, though.
I still like it, though. Anyway, so... let's talk about the cast of characters first, before we actually talk about each episode. And, like, all that stuff. There's a lot of characters in the show, but there's enough to where it doesn't feel like there's a big main cast.
Yeah.
There's at least 3 main characters and a bunch of secondary characters, not really minor characters.
There's really not that much. I can think of 4.
You can think of 4
that
main
are
characters.
Not antagonists.
Okay, so we got Luz, who is, I think you said she's Dominican, right?
Yes.
So she's Dominican, and I think this is one of the first shows I've seen that has a Dominican character. I think. Can you name any other ones? Because I can't think of any.
I can't think of anything either.
So yeah, there's Luz, who's a human. She basically, her mom was telling her to go to summer school, or like summer camp, so she could learn how to be a better person. And then she ends up discovering the gateway to the Boiling Isles.
Yes.
And all that stuff. So basically,
because Albert lured him there.
Yeah, Albert lured her there, who is Ida's staff animal.
Yeah, because he stole their trash.
Yeah. So that happened. She goes there and she wants to become a witch. She did have a choice to go back home after helping Ida with some stuff, but she wanted to stay. And she's been in the Boiling Isle since. So that basically Luz is just like a witch in training. And she's also bisexual. I found that out. We found that out, but that's not like important to her character. Like it's not the most interesting thing about her character, but it's also like an interesting fact kind of thing. What do you think?
Yeah. And
also like she's a very like interesting character. She's like really quirky. I like her personality.
She doesn't mind. She's a child that likes to do things that are... It's not like one of the weird things to where, oh, she's a nerd and stuff like that. It's more to the fact that she's like... She's more of an outdoorsy type girl. She's like... She's more into like, you know... Well, she is free-spirited, but she's more of the type of girl that goes out picking bugs and stuff like that. And, like, you know, is into, like, all this, like, weird, like... She's into a lot of, like, weird
stuff that a lot...
Kind of, like, a little bit of, I would want to say, like... I would say she is, like a dark kid for her age. She likes the macabre and stuff like that.
Yeah, she's literally... Okay, no joke. She's literally the kind of girl who writes fan fictions and would put anime music or, like... make music videos to anime and stuff like that. She's that kind of chick, which is something I can like. It's something I like, and stuff like that. She's like a modern kid.
Yeah, I just like that she likes bugs and snakes and all that stuff that normally kids are afraid of, and she's just like, they're my friends.
Yeah, she's an interesting character, and there's something about Luz that I just love her character. Like, she's, like, very likable, in my opinion. I think she's very likable.
Yeah, I think she's a very likable kid, and she just...
Well, she's not a kid. She's technically 14.
Well, yeah, very likable pre-teenager. And she just, like... She knows how to make up her own mind and not, like, do it as everyone tells her to do. As everyone tells her to do.
She likes to think outside the box.
Yeah, she was definitely created in this generation because a lot of children characters fall into the trope of, well, I gotta be a blank slate so that a child that is watching me can, like, identify as me. Yeah. Like, I might have a few personality changes here or there, but, you know, I'm still the same kid. I'm still you. I am you. And I don't see that with Luz's character. I see an actual character.
Yeah.
With actual
I still feel like
feelings.
she's a bit relatable when it comes to some things. Like, in today's society, like, she likes to write fan fiction, which I feel like a lot of people do.
Yeah.
Which is something we don't see a lot of characters of do. And, like, she also likes reading, like graphic novels, manga, stuff like that.
Yeah, but she's a bookworm. She likes to read. So it's, like, one of those things to where I don't contribute that as... You could find it relatable, but I can't count that as part of a character trait. She likes to read.
But it's something, like, people can, like, you know, think it... Like, it's something that people can kind of relate to. Yeah. In some aspects. Not everything, but, like, you know... Some things, like hobby-wise. She has relatable hobbies, let's say that.
Yeah, she has relatable hobbies, but I don't like... She's one of the more interesting, like, characters that... Kid characters or teenage characters, because they don't... It's not one of those things to where, oh, they follow a specific trope, like, oh, they're the nice person... Or they're the mean person or something like that. Yeah,
she's kind of like in the middle of like everything, or like she's like either she's in the middle or she's like a completely different person.
Yeah,
in that kind of aspect. So that's basically Luz. It's Luz for anyone who wants to know how to spell it, because I actually did not know how to spell her name for like the longest fucking time.
Yes.
So that's how you say it. It's Luz. And then next we have... You want to talk about Ida?
You want to talk about
Let's talk about Ida next. So basically, Ida is the owl lady. And fun fact, she's actually played by BoJack's mom from BoJack Horseman. That same voice actress that played BoJack's mom actually plays Ida. And I actually, like, noticed that first thing.
Other rules besides...
I know, but that's the only one I can think of off the top of my head. Like, at least right now. That's the only thing I can think of.
The actress's name is Wendy Malick.
Okay.
And she was like... She just has that distinct voice. It's like Patrick Warburton, where you don't have to you don't have to change the voice. Like, you can literally just talk in your own voice. And that's just perfect. I think that's perfect casting for what they had with Ida.
Yeah.
And it's like she's just sassy. She's one of those people that, like, takes no nonsense from anybody, and it's just like, oh my god, she
don't like school.
She melts my gay heart, and it's like, Jesus, this is just the greatest. It's just literally everyone's fucking favorite character is probably Idolin, because
probably either her or Luz is probably like their favorite character. If we had to pick, like, those are probably like what most people would say, like Luz or Ida are probably like
but
their
you don't
favorites.
really see that much of, like, animation in general. Pretty much have one of the main characters be like a 50-year-old mentor.
Yeah,
like, you don't really see that much. Like, in entertainment in general, you don't see. Either they have to be old, but they're like, you know,
they're like a minor character,
but they're secretly like powerful and badass and stuff like that, or they gotta be like old and crippled and shit like that. But it's like here, like, Idolin is like
a best of both worlds.
She's like in her 50s, and like they make her a woman that is her own age.
Yeah,
she acts like a woman of her own age, so I think that makes it a lot more interesting to the fact that what they can do and say with her is a lot more credit for what the Disney Channel actually has to do. It reminds me of like what Stan Pines actually.
Yeah, it kind of like the Ida and Stan Pines are kind of like similar in some aspects, like not entirely, but they're their own characters. But you can kind of get a Stan Pines vibe a little bit from Ida, like a very little bit.
Yeah, she likes to make money.
Well, technically, yes. Well,
she likes to make money. She cons people.
Yeah.
She's
basically like
she lives in an old shack.
I swear, honey, why are we comparing those two? Damn it, why are you making me compare them?
She has a mysterious past that no one knows about.
That I still would like to know about. I would actually like to know a bit more.
You and your priorities, man.
I like backstory.
I want to know about the mysterious past. No, I just want Ida to be like, I just want Ida to be the best. That's pretty much all I want from this show now.
Yeah, like something I like about shows. I like backstory and lore.
Yeah, you like.
So I'm actually curious about the Boiling Isles.
Yeah, you're a weird person.
I can't help it. I like world building shit. I can't help it.
I know, but I don't want it to get to the point where that's
the
all
only thing
there
it does.
is. It's like a character exposition. I don't want that for characters because these are actually good characters. Why would I want them hearing explain how the Boiling Isles
I understand that
20 billion time.
I want that too. Like I want
King already did that. He already did that in that one scene, and that's all you need. You don't need anything else.
Okay, fine by me. But I do want to see where the rest of the series goes, because they only have the first season out, and it's like the last episode of the first season aired literally today. So we're probably going to have to wait a while until the second season.
Yeah, it'll probably be, let's see.
I hope it won't be too long.
Maybe next, can't animate a whole fucking season in like less than a year. So probably maybe it'll come out, it'll have to come out sometime in the spring or the summer.
Maybe. I don't know. But basically, Ida is Luce's mentor. She's a con person. She's trying to sell stuff from the human world to the people of the Boiling Isles. And yeah, she's basically just trying to teach Luz magic. So that way, because she wanted to learn from her. So that's what she wants to do.
Yes.
She wants to learn from her master. So that's basically.
But she also goes to school now.
Yeah, and Luz also goes to school. The first, how many episodes?
It was the third episode.
I think, we think it was the third or fourth episode at least, where Luz finally gets into school, because originally she was banned from the school.
Oh, no, I thought you meant, actually introduced to the school. And
No, I meant when she started going to school.
Yeah.
Third or fourth episode is when she started actually going to school to learn how to be a witch.
That was a detention episode.
Oh, that was?
Yeah, that was a detention episode.
Oh. Okay, we'll talk about the individual episodes, or at least a couple of them, once we get through all the characters that we want to go through. Mm-hmm. So, do you have anything more to say about Ida right now?
I don't. She's just sassy, and she gives off big gay vibes, and I like her. She's just a fun character.
You're gonna have to talk a little bit.
She's a fun character. She's a very fun character, and I like them. I can't get enough of personal character interactions, and that's what makes or breaks the show for me.
Yeah.
That's all I want. That's all I want from my cartoons. That's it.
Yep. So basically, Ida also has a curse that makes her turn into this big owl beast if she doesn't take her medication and stuff like that. This is something she needs to survive.
Commentary on the healthcare system.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a moment. Or do you want to talk about that right now?
It doesn't matter. I mean, we're already scattered brain already.
Sorry for all scatterbrain. We're trying to gather our thoughts and everything while we talk about this. But so yeah, we'll come back to that. Mm-hmm. And then we got King, who's this cute little, he's cute yet, creepy looking, if you think about it. He's literally this character.
I can't find him creepy looking. I find him cute.
I find him cute too, but, he's not the typical cute. He's, He's cute, but he has like a dark side. Kind of deal.
Yeah, I go see the demon, but he's not one of those demons that knows any like spells or anything like that would kill you. It's just like,
well, he could. He just probably doesn't tell anybody.
He probably is too. He's too cute to do anything.
Yeah, he's literally a demon, like a furry demon with the skull head on his head, or is that technically his head?
I think that's his head.
But he basically lives with Ida. He has grown close to Luz since they started hanging out and stuff like that. And they're boo-boo buddies! That's what they call each other, boo-boo buddies.
Boo-boo buddies.
And it's the fucking cutest thing in the world. Oh my gosh.
Played by my king.
Yes. And also, King is played by the one and only Alex Hirsch. He actually plays King, which I was actually happy about.
Oh, I hear Bill Cipher.
Well, like,
that's it.
He has the same voice as Bill Cipher in this show, but he does play King in this series. So he is voice acting in the Owl House and stuff like that. So there's not really too much to say about King other than the fact that
he's cute, he's adorable.
He hangs out with Luz and Ida.
He's like a child. He really is like a child. Where like if he doesn't get enough attention, he'll whine really cutely. He's like a toddler.
Yeah,
in a way.
He's like that baby brother you always wanted to have.
Me?
Well, like in general, like he's like the baby brother that most kids would want to have.
Yeah.
Either that or either people are gonna find him really cute or really annoying. We personally find him really cute.
I think people find Hootie annoying.
Yeah, Hootie's kind of a bit more like, he's technically a minor character, but he's basically the doorway to the fucking house.
He's the whole house.
He's the whole house?
Yeah.
I thought he was just the doorway.
No, he's the whole house.
Ida, how the fuck did you get Hootie?
I don't know.
That's what I want to know too. I just want to know how she got Hootie just to find out.
She made Hootie? I don't know.
She made him?
Probably. Demonic magic.
Oh, Lord. Anyway, that's just a minor character.
Hootie is technically also a demon.
Yeah, but he's a cute one, though.
No, I don't find Hootie cute. With that fucking long-ass snake.
Come on, you have to admit it's cute.
No,
I find it
terrifying.
Cute. He's terrifying?
He's terrifying to me.
He's Uncanny Valley.
Yeah, he really is.
Like, this is one of those shows where there is some Uncanny Valley in this, like, show, but not to the point where it's the only contributing trope, like, of the Boiling Isles. Like, it's uncanny, but there is a charm to it.
Yeah.
Like, there's a difference between Uncanny Valley, like, just by itself, and Uncanny Valley with charm to it. This is more on the side of Uncanny Valley, but there's some charm to it. Like, it doesn't, like, make or break the show. It doesn't make it look scary enough to the point where you're going to be scared to watch it. It makes it interesting enough.
Yeah, and, like, the show's, like, animation does not go for anything like you would see. The best thing I can think of is, like, Uncanny Valley animation, as in, like, what was that show? The Misadventures of Flapjack?
Yeah.
It's not that type of show.
It's literally like, picture Flapjack, but toned down to the point where it's not gonna...
Dignified Flapjack.
Yeah, dignified Flapjack.
Disneyfied, not dignified.
Disneyfied?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably actually better.
Disneyfied
Flapjack. So yeah, basically...
Even though I've never seen an episode.
I've actually seen The Misadventures of Flapjack, and I can actually agree with you on that one. It's basically like Flapjack, like background, like concept of the background wise, but it's to the point where it's not like Uncanny Valley to where you don't want to watch it or it creeps you out. It's like Disney decided, hey, let's do this but not go too crazy with it.
Uh-huh.
It's kind of what it looks like.
Or literally a better version of Star Versus.
That too.
That is literally the best comparison, probably.
Yeah. Okay, so let's get back on track with the characters. So who do you want to talk about?
Willow and Gus.
Yeah. Willow and Gus are basically Luz's friends. Willow is a student who is originally in the Abomination program of the school, and then she wanted to do stuff with plants instead, because she's a plant witch. She's actually really adorable. Like, She's a thick girl. She's really sweet. She's really smart.
Yeah.
She's so fucking pretty.
Aw.
Like, dude, she's a pretty. Like,
She's
I love
so pretty.
I love her character design. And also, fun fact, she's got gay dads. She got gay dads.
That's fun.
I think it's sweet because, like, you actually get to see a glimpse of her dads in one episode. Like, it was like near the end of the series where, like, it was near the end of the series where you get to see like what her parents look like. Not not like a voice acting thing, but you see like a picture of her parents.
Yeah.
I do hope we actually do get to see her parents in the second season, just to at least see like what her family situation is like.
Yeah.
Because we don't like. There's some things that in this show they don't really go into right now because it's only the first season. You can't really do everything in the first season. So, first thing, Willow. So yeah, Willow started the Abomination program, made her way to being a plant. Witch, and that's what she's currently in for the rest of the season. I don't know if she changes anything after that, but that's what she started off as, and now that's what she is now. Gus is what is Gus technically trying to do?
She is part of the
human appreciation.
But
like what what's it called? Like,
he's an illusionist.
Okay, so he's an illusionist.
Yeah.
So Gus is basically the other friend who is an illusionist. He really appreciates the humankind. He's like that one nerd that's obsessed with like one thing. Like he's like the nerd obsessed with aliens, but he's obsessed with humans. He's like he's like the witch who's I can't fucking talk. He's like the human who's obsessed with aliens.
Yeah.
And sci-fi and shit, except he's basically into human stuff. So when he meets Luce, he's just like, oh my gosh, I actually found a human I can hang out with. Hell yeah.
Neat.
Kind of thing. He's a cute kid. Like, he's a cute kid.
They're both cute kids.
They're both cute kids. We don't know how old they are, though, or who's, like, older and younger or whatever. All we know is that Luce is 14. That's all we know how old everybody, like, how old she is. They don't say how old everyone else is. But I'm going to assume Willow's the same age as Luce and Gus maybe, like, a year or two younger. Mm-hmm. What do you think?
Probably.
That's kind of my, like, headcanon. I picture Willow being the same age as Luce, while Gus is probably, like, a year or two younger. Because he doesn't look as old as them. Mm-hmm. Like, he looks like... They look like they're juniors in high school, while he's, like, the freshman. That's kind of how I see it. Mm-hmm. So, he's basically an illusionist. He's trying to learn about the humankind. And, yeah, do they really... Is there anything else to really explain about Gus?
Not really. They haven't really given him much screen time.
Which kind of sucks, because he deserves some screen time. I feel like everyone pretty much deserves some screen time at this point, but not to the point where it's, like, overdone. I feel like he needs a little bit more to flesh out his character.
Probably.
Because at this point, that's all we really know about Gus. We don't really know any of his backstory, even though in the last episode... The reporter guy looks like he would be related to him. So this makes me wonder if that was his dad.
Maybe. It looked a lot like his dad.
They look like very similar, so I'm assuming that's his dad. Because we don't really know. We don't really know much about Gus or Willow, like family life and stuff. But that's all we really know about them. Because you see more of Willow in the series than Gus. And that's because Willow is like Luce's best friend kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So yeah, and then... You want to talk about Amity next?
Sure, we can talk about Amity.
And then who else do you want to talk about after this?
We'll talk about the episodes that resonated with us the most.
Well, what about, like, some of the antagonists?
Lilith is a bitch. That's all I have to say about Lilith.
We didn't even get to do... Okay, let's do Amity and then we'll talk about the bad guys. So, next character that we're going to talk about, she's technically... I consider her a secondary character. What do you think?
Yeah, she's definitely secondary.
The last one we can think of is Amity. So she's basically... I feel like out of all the characters that are secondary, she's the most fleshed out at this point. She
is, but she's not the most interesting.
Yeah, she's not...
I would literally, if I was up to me, I would literally just replace Amity with Willow and just cut Amity out entirely.
Okay. So, basically... So Amity is basically... has rich parents... She goes to the school. She's a top student. She's in the Abomination program. She was in the same... Her and Willow were both in the same program for a while.
Yeah.
And then now they're in 2 separate programs, so they don't see each other anymore, really, except, like, every now and then.
Mm-hmm.
They see each other, but not, like, how they used to. So, she's kind of... She was a rich... Like, so far in the series, she's been, like, kind of like the bully character, where she will constantly, like, try and, like, be mean to people, but at the same time, like, she kind of has her own insecurities kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like, it's like the bully trope, but they kind of add a sensitive side to her. It's like she is a whoopie pie. So it's like a soft cookie on the outside with cream on the inside. Kind of like a moon pie. She's like a moon pie.
Okay.
I don't know. I can't think of any other thing at the moment. Okay. So she's basically... She has a crush on Luz. And originally she was trying to be mean to Luz. But Luz didn't really, like, get fazed by it. She kind of just wanted to improve. And she doesn't really, like... Luz doesn't really, like, have any ill will toward Amity. She just wants to be her friend.
Well, she doesn't think about Amity at first, and then she's like, well, maybe, like, Luz kept on inadvertently getting Amity in trouble, so Amity decided to back away from Luz.
And then now they're at the point where she wants to hang out with her. So originally they were distanced from each other, and then after a while they were like, hey, you aren't so bad, let's hang out.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. So it took Amity a while to kind of warm up to Luz, from what I could tell. At first I didn't really like her, but, like, now I'm getting to the point where she's not, like, the best character, but she's okay. Like, I feel like she does need some improvements to her character, but I still feel like Willow and Gus need some more screen time.
Yeah.
Compared to Amity.
Like, actually confess her feelings toward Luz and make them a couple.
Yeah, that should definitely be a thing in, like, the next season. So basically, we'll go over, like, 2 more characters from the show, and then we'll talk about our favorite episodes, and then I guess what we expect for season 2 and what we give our rating.
Yeah.
Because we will be doing more episodes of involving Owl House once more episodes come out. So be on the lookout for that whenever that happens. Because we're going to, unlike other series, this one we're going to review pretty much, like, as the seasons come out.
Mm-hmm.
Is kind of how we're going to do that, because we actually do really like this series. Like, this is actually a really good series.
Yeah, I do too.
Like, the animation is fucking beautiful, dude.
They have some...
I don't know who they hired to do the animation for the studio, but, dude, it is so good. If you don't watch it for the series, please watch it for the animation. It's so beautiful.
Yeah.
Why don't you talk about
nice
some of it?
backgrounds, nice detailed artwork, nice character designs. I just, like, really, like, it's just...
It's a good series.
I just like looking at this show. It's a really pretty show to look at.
Yeah, like, it's a good show. I feel like it's got really good potential to it.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like this show could have a good run, and we won't get tired of it, hopefully. Like, I don't think it could be, like, Steven Universe long, but I think this could be a good 3-4 seasons. What do you think?
3 seasons,
At least 3?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe at least 3. Like, I can see it, like, a good amount. Like, Steven Universe, like, I will even admit this, it did drag on for a while. But that was mainly because of, like, networking issues. Here's the thing with this show. As long as it doesn't really have networking issues, which we don't know for certain, then I think the show should be fine. What do you think?
We'll just have to wait and see.
As long as they didn't...
It doesn't matter about networking issues or what. You're the one writing the storyboards. You're the one writing what goes into the episode.
Yeah.
So if you're just wasting time with every single episode and not doing anything interesting and just pretty much giving exclamation plot points, yada yada, then people are just not going to tune into the show anymore.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what delays are going to be. 7-month delays, a year delay. It doesn't matter. Because people don't, like, when they want to watch a show, binge watching is the new thing right now. Yeah. So they want to binge watch a show, then they're not going to pay attention. Most fans that, like, come in after or even in the middle of the show is ended, just binge watch the rest of the show. They don't care about, like, you know, pacing or whatever, because as long as you're keeping them entertained episode per episode, then you're not going to have a problem. And that's why, like, a lot of people fail to mention that's why Steven Universe, that's why Star suffered, because the fact that they literally did not know what to write in those episodes. They did not have any sense of pace.
I haven't really seen that much Star vs. the Force Evil. I watched like 6 episodes and I couldn't finish it. I like literally watched like 6 episodes of the first season and I was just not into it. I tried. I couldn't get hooked on it. Normally it takes me like the first couple episodes for me to get hooked on a series, and that's how I know I like it. If I can't get hooked on the first like 6 episodes, then I can't. I normally try and watch like the first 5-6 episodes, but for this one, we literally got hooked on the first episode.
Yeah.
Which is rare for both of us. Like, normally it takes me a couple episodes to get a feel for what they're doing, but this we legit got hooked on the first fucking episode.
Yeah.
And that's because of how good it was, and I'm like, do it again! Kind of thing. So, yeah. So, bad guys this point. The only 2 bad guys we really have are Lilith and... What's the Emperor's name again?
That is the name.
The Emperor.
We don't have much to say about the Emperor. He's just...
Yeah, like...
He's literally just...
He's a figurehead.
He's like... He is just... fucking General Grievous.
He's okay, so we have the Emperor. We'll talk about him and then we'll talk about Lilith. Because we don't really have much to say about the Emperor. He's basically the leader of the Emperor's Coven. And that's one of the covens that they have. They have, like, a bunch of different covens you can join. And that helps make everything stay...
Witches
wait, you go ahead.
He kills witches that don't oblige to his rules.
Yeah, so he's basically the ruler of the Boiling Isles. And if you don't follow his rules, you're kind of screwed. So, yeah.
Don't have much to say about him. The thing about it is he could turn into a really boring villain really quickly, though. Yeah, so, like, if we're going to have a character we dislike, it's probably going to mainly be him just because of his pacing. Maybe, but that's if they do something with him, or they just write him off to the side and replace him with another character. Because
we really don't have, like, a set bad guy yet.
Yeah.
Like, we have an idea of who the bad guy is.
Lilith wasn't really a bad guy either. She was more like a...
antagonist?
She was more of, like... She's more of a bitch than anything.
Honestly, yeah, but we'll talk about her in a second. But we've only seen the Emperor in probably, like, at most 2.5 episodes. And that's because... half of an episode, he was talking to Lilith. That's literally it. Like, we've only seen him, like, 2.5 times. And I say the half because it was near the end of one episode.
Yeah.
So, we don't really, like, have much to talk about when it comes to him at this point, because not much has really happened with him. He's mentioned a lot of times, but he's not really, like, actively done anything.
Yeah.
Is the thing. Like, we have characters that are from the same coven as him that actually do more than him, which is surprising. Like,
it's because they haven't, like, they introduced... Maybe they're doing a Bill Cipher route, where they're introducing him in, like, the season 1 finale, and then later on he does more shit.
So you think the Emperor's going to play a bigger role in the second season?
I guess, but it depends, because he's more played up as an actual legit threat than anything.
Yeah, but I don't know if he's really going to be part of it.
He's not over the top. He's not over the top. He's not evil just for sake of being evil. He legit seems like a calculating villain, which is one of those things to where if done sparingly can work, but I've seen so few instances where it's actually been interesting.
Yeah, he's kind of boring if we had to think about it. Like,
if I had to think about the Emperor for more than 5 seconds, I fucking... Like, I like his design, I like his voice act and everything like that. It's just the tone of the show
kind of brings it down.
Kind of like he puts it to an all-out stop whenever he goes on screen. Because it's like, yeah, you're a legit threat, but it's like one of those things to where I think the I don't know. I really don't know. We have seen very little of him.
So we can't really judge him.
The only thing that they could literally do is like either write him aside and replace him with someone else, which I highly doubt they will do because they've already established him.
Yeah.
Or he becomes one of those villains that is like, the more you see of him, the more like
he gets creepy.
The more he gets creepy, which is like another thing that you can definitely play up in a horror show.
Yeah, because we don't really know what he looks like. He looks like he has a mask on.
Yeah.
So we don't really know what he looks like. All we know is he has a blue eye.
His Sans eye.
One fucking blue eye, and that's all we see of him. Because
people are theorizing that he was a human that got trapped in the boiling aisles. So
wait, that's actually a theory that's going around?
Yeah.
Like, I actually did not know that. I haven't had a chance to dive into the fandom yet. I was gonna wait till like we finished Owl House and then try and dive into it, but I haven't really like heard too much about it yet.
The theory is that either he's Luz's father who got trapped in boiling
Wait,
aisles.
did we ever see what happened to Luz's dad? Like,
I don't care.
We don't really know about Luz's dad or if she even has a dad. Well, she could... who knows? Her mom could be gay and could have another lover.
I don't know.
We don't
Single
know.
mom, but it's like one of those things to where, like, either people have been speculated that's Luz's dad who got trapped in the boiling aisles, or that's probably that's the stupidest fucking thing.
Wouldn't her mom, like, know about that, though? Like, wouldn't she know about that?
I don't know. Or either he was a human that got trapped in the boiling aisles.
I don't think that's gonna be her dad. Because if it was gonna be her dad, they would have, like, explained... her mom would have said something about her dad. She would have said something.
Yeah.
I feel like
I doubt that any of those theories are actually going to hold any value because...
But it's an interesting theory.
That island that they inhabit is centuries old, so it's not like one of those things to where he could restore order in fucking 50 years. It's like, no, I'm pretty sure he's
got to be something.
Powerful.
He's got to be something that's
else.
already on the island.
He's got to be something
I
else.
don't think he's going to be a human. If he's actually a human, how the fuck did he get all those powers? Is the thing. Even though Luce is learning as a witch, but that's different.
Yeah.
So
Plus he's telepathic.
Yeah, that too. So we think he's probably not.
He's probably the closest thing that you could say is he's probably a demon.
He's probably like. What if King knows him? What if it's a character King knows from when he used to be a demon king? What if that was a thing?
I think that could be relevant because we don't really get to see, like, King is a demon and demons don't like
interact with one another.
They're the most minimalist like characters, demons apparently.
Yeah, it's
like one of those things to where they only operate from greed and self-worth and stuff like that. So I doubt that they're gonna really care if they care about any other demons besides themselves.
You never know, though.
I don't know.
Like,
that's what I got from the show. I just got from the show that demons don't really interact with each other because all they want is just to pretty much just take over everything and be the most powerful one there is.
So, yeah, it's one of those things to where, like, we don't really know much about it.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. So, anyway, let's talk about,
episodes that impacted us the most.
Well, we'll talk about that in 1 second. Let's just say one thing. Lilith is basically Ida's sister. Everyone hates Lilith at this point because of the second to last episode. And... yeah, I feel like she's going to be the most hated character at this point. That's all I really have to say about her. But she basically works in the Emperor's Coven as, like, one of the Emperor's, like, assistants. Or, like, one of his, like, pupils, I guess. But, yeah, that's really all I have to say about Lilith. She hasn't really done much. Minus, like, the last, like, 5 episodes, we really get to mainly focus on her. Mm-hmm. Kind of thing. We do get backstory a little bit about Ida and Lilith. At least about their relationship and stuff like that. We do get that in the series from the first season, which I actually liked. Little Ida is fucking cute. She's so cute.
Yeah, they're cute.
I love her. She's so adorable as a kid. Like, oh my gosh. Kid Ida is adorable.
Adorable.
So yeah, that's one thing I will say about it. Lilith, look, I don't know what the fuck happened to Lilith. She had like the biggest curly hair. What the fuck happened?
I have no idea.
She went from curly red hair to like this dark, like jet black hair. It's like, did you like dye your hair or something? I don't know. Anyway, so let's talk about the episodes that impacted us. So let's name our top 4 episodes. What are your top 4?
Top 4 episodes?
Yeah, and you're gonna have to speak up, honey, because you can't.
I don't know. I mean, I can think of moments. I can think of
Okay, top 4 moments then. Let's do that.
lines.
Let's do that. Top 4 moments / plot lines. Go. And as soon as you say that, the air conditioner kicks in.
When the episode where they discovered that where Luce and King discovered Ida's curse.
That, I will admit, was interesting.
That was a good episode.
And that was literally episode 2. That was literally the second fucking
episode.
What was the 4th?
Yes.
I thought it was the 2nd.
You don't remember.
I'm not good at remembering chronological order shit. I just know when stuff happens.
Okay.
But yeah, finding out about Ida's curse was honestly interesting. And this show actually does go into... I know this is probably going to sound boring, but they actually do go into, like, healthcare related stuff and, like, the idea of people needing medicine.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. Like, why don't you explain that, honey? Because I feel like you explain it better than me.
Well, it just explains to kids, I think, like, sometimes, like, adults need medicine. Children need medicine to cope with life. It's like, don't go around messing with other people's medicine, or else you might get sick, or they're gonna go crazy without it.
Yeah, and
so,
this also, besides dealing with, like, sickness, it also, I feel like, deals with, like, mental illness as well.
Yeah.
Because, like, Ida's curse genuinely does affect her. Like, it genuinely, like, affects, like, how she does stuff. Because she gets all these fucking feathers, and she, like, goes rogue. But it's a good representation that, like, I understand for some people, like, some people can't cope or get through something without some kind of medication. Some people can go cold turkey and not need medicine for anything, while there's just some people that absolutely just need it to, like, function. And that's not a bad thing. As long as you're not abusing that power, then you should have access to medicine. Like, fun fact, there's actually some people out there, like, that don't rely on medicine at all and just, like, tell people that medicine's a bad thing, it's gonna, like, turn you into a zombie and shit like that. And it's like, that may be for you, but not everybody can deal with that. Right, honey?
Yeah.
Like, there's just some people that honestly need to rely on medicine. Like, there's a lot of immunocompromised people that need medicine to function. Or, like, they need medicine to help them with stuff. Like, people with, like, anxiety medication, at least from my experience, like, I've been on anxiety meds for, like, a while. And they've actually really helped me. Like, they helped me, like, a lot. And it's something I actually do need, because without it, I'm like a mess.
Uh-huh.
Right, honey? I'm like a big mess without my meds. So, it's one of those things to where it actually does help people.
Mm-hmm.
And it also talks about, like, the healthcare system. Like, sad to say, not everyone is treated fairly in the healthcare system. Like, some people are treated better and some people aren't. Some people
There's
have...
literally an episode where Ida tries to go get more medicine, and the guy who's scamming her is like, capitalism, where everyone wins except for you.
Yeah, and that actually kind of hit home, because there's some people out there that don't have access, that are trying to get access to medicine, but they can't, because they think people are going to abuse it. Like, I understand the growing drug problem is an issue. I understand that. However, as long as people don't abuse their power, they should have the right to have their medication. Some people need it to live. And that's kind of like Ida's situation. Ida needs her elixir to live. She needs it to not turn into this big-ass beast. Like, I know it's a cool beast, but no one needs to deal with that shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It has a lot of, like, there is a lot of symbolism in some episodes. Like, the episode where they talk about, where, like, King and, like, Luz are trying to write fan fiction together. I feel like there is a lot of symbolism in that episode. Like, there was a lot, like, you could tell that there's a lot of hidden meanings in this episode. Like, you can fucking tell.
Yeah.
Like, at the end of the episode, they're like, I had that vibe, like, is there something that they're not telling us that they're trying to imply here?
Probably.
But, yeah, if I had to pick my top 4, like, moments...
I guess the other one I would say was... The convention episode was a really good episode.
The convention one?
Yeah, the convention one.
We actually get to learn more about, like, like, Luce and, like, just how... We get to... I think that's the first episode where Lilith shows up, I believe.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, and we get to learn about Ida and Lilith, like, you know, being siblings and just... We just know that they've been trying to, like... Lilith wants Ida to join the Emperor's Coven with her, so that way they can...
The second to last episode really got me, though.
Yeah. So, like, the second to last episode was your absolute favorite so far? Or is it, like, the most impactful?
Stakes, impactful, definitely.
Yeah, I feel like a lot happened in the last, like, 2 to 3 episodes. Mm-hmm. Compared to, like, the rest of the season. But it built up to the point where... It started to finally, like, you know, show up. You know what I mean?
Oh, every time that moment comes up where Adolin captures Ida when Ida pretty much drained all her magic to save Lilith, and then Lilith just fucking, just stabs through Luz with the line, like, Amity's with her real family. That's
not
just,
Amity.
Or, sorry.
Ida's with her.
Ida's with her real family. That breaks my fucking heart.
And also, like, the idea of, like, found families is a big thing in this show. Because over the season, you kind of realize that Ida looks to Luz as, like, a adopted daughter. Because, like, who knows, maybe Ida couldn't find the right person and she wanted to have kids, but she couldn't. Kind of thing. Like, we don't really know much about Ida and, like, her goals and stuff like that, besides, like, trying to get rich. But we find out that she does have a soft spot for Luz. We do find that out, and it's actually really endearing.
Yeah.
Like, it's fucking sweet.
It's cute.
It's adorable and sweet, and I'm happy that they actually have an episode that focuses on that. Because you don't really see that, like, in a lot of shows. Like, people say, oh, you have to be with your real family. Like, you don't have to be. This show, you don't have to be with your real family. And that's a rule. Family you were born with doesn't have to be, like, your real family. Example, like, in the LGBT community, there's a lot of people that aren't accepted for who they are. And a lot of their families, in quotes, don't respect their decision of what they want to be. So sometimes you kind of have to, like, find your own family. Like, you know, kind of thing like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's definitely a big thing in the series that they do talk about quite a bit, and I actually do like it. What do you think, honey? Do you have anything to say on that?
I just think that hopefully they'll continue to do that because Luz wants to get back home, but she's not
in a rush to do it. She wants to become a witch entirely and then go back.
I think that episode in Grom Night where she, like, quote-unquote confronts the issues with her mom in her head, it's kind of telling to what she goes through sometimes in her home life.
She probably, like, goes through a lot of shit that they don't really talk about yet, and I feel like they're eventually going to talk about it because I feel like that's something they should eventually talk about. Because to me it looks like Luz and her mom don't have the best relationship from what I can see. Like, they get along, but the moments where they don't just hurt. You know what I mean? It just hurts.
I think, well, also Luz is just, I think, kind of scared to tell her about things because of how, like, it's gotten her in trouble in the past. So,
yeah.
It's also another thing.
That's probably another thing that, like, I feel like that's another thing that will probably foreshadows something in the future, maybe.
Yeah.
I feel like in a future, like, episode or something, they probably are going to cover that. I feel like something I do want to see in the next, like, season is definitely, like, what Luz's home life was like. At least a peek of it.
Yeah.
So we can understand her perspective. So, okay, since we went through a couple episodes, let's talk about the last 2 episodes. Because most of the episodes basically build on her learning spells. Like, the only spells Luz knows right now is a light spell, a ice spell. She technically knows a plant one, and she just learned a fire one.
Yeah.
So she knows 4 currently. And she does it by writing symbols on paper, which I think is actually kind of cool.
Yeah, it's really cool to implement spells like that.
Yeah, because she can't really do it like a normal witch, so she kind of has to improvise. So, okay, let's talk about the last 2 episodes of this, and then we'll do, like, what we expect for season 2, and then we'll rate it.
Okay.
So, okay, so what do you want to do first? Do you want to go first? Okay, so I'll go if you don't want to go. What do you want to do?
It doesn't matter.
Okay, I guess I'll go then. So, the last 2 episodes, basically, here comes spoiler territory. For those who don't know.
These old podcasts are going to be spoilers. You don't have to worry about
Well, I wanted to... Well, the last episode literally just came out today. So I want people to know just in case they tune into this and haven't seen it yet. I do it just in case because you never know if someone is going to, like, not see it and then get spoiled already. So, second to last episode, we actually learned something really crazy. Lilith caused the curse to Ida. The reason Ida has the curse is because of her own fucking sister.
You really thought that was like a big reveal?
Yes. I actually thought it was a big reveal. I
thought it was obvious to what they were doing.
I didn't think so. I actually was surprised. I thought it was...
You can see clearly whose silhouette that is.
Well, I couldn't tell.
You can clearly see it, but it's like one of those things to where it doesn't really... It doesn't... In the grand scheme of things... Like, even Ida did not want to even find out who cursed her. Because she doesn't really... She lived with it for so long. She doesn't care anymore.
She just wants to, like, get through it.
No, the whole tension of that scene is to get Luz back.
Yeah. But we find it out, and then Ida was so fucking pissed. The 2 of them had a fight. Basically, Ida was trying to save Luz from dying because Lilith almost fucking killed her. And it pissed me off to the point where it's like, what the fuck, man? Like, I was yelling at the fucking TV and, like, oh my gosh, I was so, like... I was actually surprised. I didn't think it was actually going to be Lilith. I thought it was going to be somebody else.
No.
That they were going to, like, make a new character or something kind of thing. And there's also, like, fucking memes everywhere of just... They put Stan Pines there instead of Lilith, and I was just like, why? That was a fucking meme! I found that out! That was a meme! I've actually seen memes on Twitter about it.
Okay.
Anyway, the fight scene was beautiful, and then Ida literally sacrifices herself to get Luz to safety, and so she doesn't get captured like she did.
No, I don't think that we're going to capture Luz to begin with. I think they were just going to get to Ida and capture her.
Do you don't think they were going to capture Luz?
No, I either thought they were just going to toss her aside or just kill her, since they were just effective.
That's kind of surprising. So that was the thing that happened, and that made Luz upset. And then the very last episode was them trying to get Ida back.
Yeah.
So, Ida almost died, which was crazy. Luz basically had a...
Luz kicked the shit out of everyone.
Yeah, Luz was basically kicking the shit out of all the bad guys. She really wanted Ida back, which I would do the same thing if, like, someone I know was going to get captured kind of shit. So it was like... It was one of those things to where you kind of saw it coming... But at the same time, you got enough suspense to build up from that. Right?
Yeah.
It's one of those kinds of things. So, by the end of the episode, we have, let me think. Oh, you sweet. But, do you want to explain? Because it's hard for me to explain.
What?
The end, like the last episode. Do you want to just explain it? We literally had to watch it on YouTube because we couldn't find any other videos about it. So, It was a little bit spotty and glitchy.
They rescue Ida from the Emperor, but clearly the Emperor wants to use some type of huge power to go into the human world. And all I could think of was like that. I know you haven't read these. I know you haven't like. It reminds me of a certain book like series from one of like the one of the series of books that I read about like. Can't remember the name. What's the name? Do we have it here? No, we do not. But it was like one. It's like one of those. It's like one of those things too, where a very powerful like sorcerer from another realm wants to go to the human world so that they could take it over with. Because whoopsie surprise, that world doesn't have any defense or magic. So I'm just gonna go take it over, and it's like. Clearly, this Emperor knows about the human world.
So that has to be something. Like, that's kind of got to be foreshadowing something. So, basically, they save Ida. Luz almost goes back to her world. She technically goes back for, like, 2 seconds. Yeah. And then Lilith kind of, like, talks to her about the backstory of how Ida got...
The backstory.
Of how Ida got the curse. And we learned that those two were actually really close.
Yeah, they were. All enemies are somewhat close.
Yeah, they were really close as kids. And then Lilith really wanted to join the Emperor's Coven, but she wanted to do it by any means necessary. So she ended up getting a curse from like the night market, which we do see in one episode. We actually do see the night market, so that kind of makes me wonder if that was foreshadowing Lilith. Like going to the market to like get that curse for Ida. What do you think?
Well, they show that though.
I know, but I mean, you know what I'm trying to say?
No.
Never mind. Anyway, so Lilith ends up putting the curse on Ida when she's asleep, and then the next day those two are supposed to fight because only one of them could join the Emperor's Coven. Then Ida decides that she wanted to forfeit because she didn't want to fight her sister. Yeah. And then Lilith realizes this, and she's like, "Oh fuck! Why did I do that?" And then Ida turns into the owl lady for the owl.
And proceeds not to tell her for like 30 years.
Yeah, so like she ends up turning into the owl like right then and there. Everyone boos her and she runs away. Lilith tries to go after her and then she joins the Emperor's Coven. Because of that. Which was insane to me because I'm like, are you fucking serious?
Yeah.
So...
I like that Luz doesn't automatically forgive her even after she tells us.
She really doesn't.
And I doubt that Ida will too.
I feel like this is going to be the thing to where do you feel like this is going to make her have a redemption arc? Because I feel like...
I kind of just want, like, she already has a loss. They both have a loss that they now can barely do any magic because they pretty much mended bonds with each other.
Yeah, so now neither
it doesn't mean that Idolin got off scot-free. Yeah. She lost a bit of her power because of that. And they're going to live with it for the rest of her life. And she's like, I don't think there is a quote-unquote redemption thing for them. I think it's just
this.
I think it's just one of those things to where I think they're not going to... I don't think she's going to look at her sister the same way anymore, but I think what they have built up with literally everybody else trying to be friends, like for Amity and Luz, it was a start. For Amity and Willow, it was a start. And for Idolin and Lilith, it is a start.
Yeah, like it's the start of it, but
that's the theme of this story.
It's starting stuff off so that way they can improve. At least for this season, it's starting stuff off so that way in the later seasons, hopefully it improves, or at least enough to where they can handle being around each other. Like they don't have to completely forgive each other, but they can at least get to the point where they can at least live in the same room as one another. That's something I would like people to take away from this, and that's something I also learned from a Twisted Disaster video. You don't have to like every person. You can tolerate people, but you don't have to like everybody. Yeah. And that's something that this story also talked about. No one has to be your friend. You can have friends, but if someone doesn't want to be your friend and stuff like that, you don't have to be. You can still talk to each other, but you don't have to be friends. Yeah. Kind of thing. You okay? Yeah. So, yeah. Okay, so let's do what we expect for the next season, and then let's
more
give our
gay
rating.
Stuff, more character interactions. I think, like, I just think that's a really good show on that, and that's what's keeping me interested. It's those little moments that just make a show, and that's what I'm interested in. That's why I want from season 2. I just want more interesting moments with these characters, because to me, these characters are not just blank slates on the screen. They're actual people. So I think it would be interesting, and that's why this is probably one of the more interesting shows I've seen in a long time. Like, it's the good shit. It's the good shit.
Yeah. Okay, so for me, I agree with that. I want more character action like they did with this one. But are there any, like, plot lines that you want them to talk about, I guess, in the next season?
If they come up, they come up. But it's, like, one of those things where, like, you can, like, a show builds off of a premise more than anything.
Yeah.
It's just the execution that delivers in the writing, not so much the storytelling.
Yeah.
Because every single story is a cliche. Every single story. There's not been one story that has not been told twice or 3 times or
multiple times.
Like, hundreds and hundreds of times. It's just the way that you execute it through the characters what makes it interesting.
Yeah. Okay, so stuff for me. Some things I would like them to talk about in the second season. We definitely need some more screen time for Willow and Gus. We do need... I feel like we should...
for that too.
We need to have more... I feel like we need more plot development for those 2 characters specifically, because even though Amity is a good character, in my own opinion, there's some things that she needs to work on, but we kind of got most of her stuff fleshed out literally this season compared to Willow and Gus. So I feel like they should kind of focus more on that in the second season. And if it's possible, maybe at least Amity hinting to Luz that she likes her.
I just want her to come out and say it.
Yeah, I want her to come out and say it, and then Luz will decide, I guess, what they want to do. Because if Amity says, I like you, I want to be with you, and Luz doesn't feel the same, then we're going to probably have some tension.
I actually want that to actually be this, like, in the season 2 opener, actually.
So you want that kind of thing to happen?
Yes, I want a season where they're actually together and they're actually girlfriends.
Yeah.
That's the major thing that I would want to see.
Okay. Even though, like, you kind of ship Luz and Willow more.
If they build on a relationship that is, like, that's decent, then I'll give it a pass.
Yeah. But for me, I'm okay with whatever. I'm okay with if Luz ends up with either Willow or, like, Amity. Even though I don't know if Willow is into that kind of thing, but I wouldn't mind them kind of building on that. And if they just stay as friends, I'll be happy with them just staying as friends. I just want to see what they decide to do with Luz and Amity's relationship. Or
they built it up already. They better end it off.
Yeah. Like, we just want it to be, like, to the point where they at least start being girlfriends. We let it happen, please.
Yeah, not let it happen
just
at the end of the show.
As long as they don't drag it on, I think that's the one thing we would like for season 2. And if they don't do it in season 2, at least do it in, like, halfway through season 2. It doesn't have to be, like, the first episode. At least, like, halfway through it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I don't think they're going to do that in the first fucking episode. I feel like that's not what they're going to do in the first episode of season 2. I feel like they're probably going to have to explain what happens, I guess.
I think
with Ida.
The main concern is you gotta introduce the main couple that the story ships, and you gotta figure out the crisis of how Luz is gonna get back home, and that's pretty much what story-wise I want. The rest can go to character interactions and all that. Yeah,
but another thing I want them to kind of do with it is, like, I kind of would like to see them build upon, what's it called? I want them to kind of, like, explain Luz's home life. Because we really don't know what kind of house she was in before she came here. Like, we knew she got in trouble a lot. We just don't really know, like, much about, like, what it was like for her at her house.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I don't know if it's just me, but I feel like there's something kind of there when it comes to, like, Luce and her mom, her actual mom, I feel like there's some kind of, like, thing there to where maybe they get along to the point where, like, they're okay around each other, but maybe there's some hidden tension that we don't know.
Yeah.
Like, that's something that's the last thing I would like to find out about Luce in season 2. Like, that's something I would like to find out. And stuff like that. I can't really think of anything else at the moment, but I know character development, more character interactions, Willow and Gus actually getting more screen time and development. Because we get a bit from Willow, not too much, but we get a little bit. Mm-hmm. But Gus barely had any fucking screen time, which sucked. Like, he's the one character out of the 3 friends that barely has any character interaction in the entire series, which is sad. So, definitely those 2 I think should get a little bit more character development. Gus probably more than Willow, but at least those 2. So, Luce's home life, and just see what happens going forward.
Yeah. So, what would you give your rating for the first season of Owl House?
First season? I actually give it a 9.5 out of 10. I actually really liked the first season. I thought it was really good. Like, this show dragged me in based on the first episode. That's hard to do for me.
Yeah.
Normally, like, when I normally watch the first, like, couple episodes and then I get dragged in. This one, I literally got dragged in the first fucking episode, like I did with Steven Universe. That's literally, like, how I know it's a good show. If I get dragged in on the first episode, that's how you know it's a great show. In my opinion. And I feel like this is a show that I'm actually going to be behind on for a long time. I don't care how many seasons it is, as long as they do the story good, and as long as they don't overpace it, I feel like this is going to be a good show and a good fandom to be in. Hopefully. What do you think?
I give it 8.5 just because it has really great pacing.
Okay.
I honestly think if it did not have the pacing that it did have, and if it, like, did not, like, just immediately just, like, if it immediately just, like, wanted to take things all slowly, I don't think that's the type of show that this wants to be. It wants to be quick, it wants to be fast.
But not too fast.
Grab your attention and, like, I don't think it ever lets it go. And I just think, like, damn, this is, like, an actual good kid show that has come out in the past decade.
Yeah, like, it's just as good as, like, Gravity Falls and a couple other shows that came out, like, 2010s. Like, it's just as good as, like, the Renaissance period. This is, like, the Renaissance, I think, for Disney.
It is, but, like, it's one show. So it's, like, one of those things where they could easily fall into the trap of it being, like, serialized and not that very good, and just wanting to just pretty much just be one of those shows that just goes up its own ass. But it's like, I don't think it will. I think it will I think it'll be fun. I just want it to be fun. Yeah. So that's what I'm cautious about it, but at the same time, I still think that this is, like, one of the better season 1 shows. Shows that have, like, a great season 1. Because most season 1s don't...
kind of are eh.
Yeah, they're kind of eh. Because they're just starting off. They don't know how to, like, write their own, like...
show. But this one actually knows what they're doing. This show is actually one of the few shows that knows what they're fucking doing. Yeah. Knows what they want to be in the first season. So, yeah. Also, I have only one complaint, and this is the only reason I don't give it a 10 out of 10.
What?
Can Luce stop touching Amity's shit? She touches so much of her shit. That's the one complaint I have for the series. Luce, whenever there's interaction with Amity and her, Luce gets so curious, she's just, like, grabs everything without Amity's permission.
Well, I think...
that's the one thing that bothered me.
The thing about it is, I think Luce has already grown out of that already.
I know, but that was the one thing about the series that bothered me. That was the one thing, okay? And I'm only going to complain about it one time. That was the only thing that bothered me about season 1. That's it. I know she grew out of it, but that was the only thing that bothered me.
Cool.
That's it. I'm the person, like, you have to ask permission before you touch anything. That's me. So that was kind of a pet peeve for me. That was a fucking pet peeve, in my opinion. But that was basically my opinion on it. But I don't really have much else to say about it. What about you?
Not really. It's a good show. Go watch it.
Please go watch this series, guys. It's actually really good. All the episodes are currently out right now. I don't think there's supposed to be any more.
No, not until season 2.
Yeah, so there is a season 2 coming out. So once season 2 comes out, we will be covering it. I just don't know when that's going to be, so...
Unless it gets canceled.
It better not get fucking canceled, I swear. If this show gets fucking canceled, I'm going to riot. Anyway, thank you guys for tuning into our podcast about the Owl House. I hope you guys really enjoy it. And be on the lookout for our next episode. Please follow our social medias at the bottom in the description. And we'll see you guys for the next podcast.
Bye.
Bye.